Welcome to channel 2737 News on the APES network. If you have this channel this high, then you clearly love the environment. We're here to discuss the invasive animals that people let into our waterways. In other words, our news segment is about invasive pets. Breaking news! The round gobies are taking our lakes! Oh no! Now over to Kristen at the scene to discuss this problematic matter with a hired specialist.
Hi, I'm Kristen reporting here from Lake Opeka. I'm here to talk with Evan, a specialist on the round gobies. He's been studying them, So Evan, what is there to know about these invasive fish? Where do they come from?
Well, these mischievous creatures have traveled all the way from the Caspian and the Black Seas through the ballast water of several different ships. Their small, benthic soft bodies can be identified by a black spot on their anterior dorsal fin and fused pelvic fins in the form of a suctoral disc.
That's a really interesting. How big can they get, and how are they taking over our lakes and rivers?
Well, these super aggressive fish, and let me tell you, super friggin' aggressive, can grow up to 10 inches and can survive in fresh or salt water with low dissolved oxygen and high pollution and temperatures from -1 to 33 degrees Celsius. Their size and aggressiveness has allowed it to take over the homes of motted sculpin and log perch.
Wow! What parts of the lakes and rivers do they like?
The preferable habitats of these fish are sandy or silty, but they prefer rock, cobble, or riprap.
What in the world do they like to eat?
They have extremely diverse diets, which include benthic invertebrates, but may contain smaller fish and fish eggs. These things are crazy!
They sure are, and we need to find a way to get rid of them. Elaney, back to you in the newsroom.
Thank you, Kristen. Experiments were conducted at the Illinois Natural History Survey in which round gobies were added to large cattle tanks with spawning pumpkin seeds and green sunfish. Sunfish nets were then filmed with video equipment to observe if round gobies would eat sunfish eggs or even attempt to do so. The video showed that round gobies will raid nests and successfully prey on sunfish eggs, sometimes even when the guarding male sunfish is present. Last but not least, we're going back to the scene with Kristen and Evan to discuss another problematic fish that has also been invading our waterways.
I'm back here at Lake Opeka with fish specialist Evan to talk about the weatherfish, dojo loaches, etc. Evan, can you tell us how these fish got into the Chicago waterways?
Well, Kristen, it's believed that the weatherfish were released into the Chicago waterways by well-intentioned pet owners attempting to dispose of them, apparently the wrong way. This is a good reminder to never release pets into the wild if you can no longer care for them. They could possibly, or could potentially, become another invasive population in an already taxed Great Lakes ecosystem.
That is crazy! Where did the weatherfish get their name?
The fish acquired the name weatherfish from the long-recognized erratic behavior during changes in barometric pressure. At these times, the fish may have become very active and agitated. They were kept in container as weather predictors and historically may have been one of the longest-kept species of fish.
Wow, how do these fish survive in new waters?
Part of the species' ability to survive poor conditions is because of its ability to swallow atmospheric air and pass it through the gut, extracting oxygen internally. Excess air is expelled via the anus. This ability has led to fish being found alive encased in mud with no actual water present.
Cool! What other interesting facts are there to know?
They have the ability to store oxygen in their intestines in cases of low oxygenated water. They survive like this for a few days. Drying out is more of a concern than oxygen. In the wild, they will encase themselves in mud to stay wet, and still have enough air to breathe if the stream dries up for a short time. Dojo loaches can and will secrete a mucus to keep from drying out if they are out of water for some time. When these loaches are in the wild, they are known to walk great distances to find another body of water.
Thanks for your insight, Evan. Now back to you at the studio, lady.
Thanks, Kristen. Well, those are some interesting facts that we've heard here today. Remember, everybody, the only way to get rid of these species from invading is prevention. So don't let your fish into our waterways and we won't have this problem. Stay tuned for our next newscast.